Hello, everybody. Hi, it's episode 5. So I was gonna do a bunch of other stuff today in a totally different order, and this stream was gonna be tomorrow, but everything got all jumbled up yesterday night, so I had to move things around. So it's Ironsworn, and it's happening now, as you can see today. In this very moment, we're doing episode 5. Though honestly, I've been wondering about this, about how to posit these, how to explain these streams to people who haven't watched them before, right? So I've been tagging them as like, this is episode 5. I've been putting them up as a series on YouTube, but I don't want to intimidate anybody or drive anybody away who's like, but I didn't watch episodes 1 through 4. I'd like to think, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do need to watch all of them in that order to really have them make sense. But I kind of like having them as independent objects. Like, I'd like to think that they're episodic.
Our illustrious champion returns.
I don't know. Maybe not.
Welcome home.
Happy anniversary, Nimberry. I think you could watch episode 3 if you haven't watched. Like, episode 4 isn't live on YouTube yet. Yeah, you kind of do and you kind of don't. I don't know. So I'm just gonna keep doing them the way they are. But yeah, I think we could break them up by quest too. Ah, okay. So there are some folks in the audience who haven't seen all of them, and they're planning on watching. Okay, all right. Well, you let me know at the end how confusing it was for you. I try to review, and I guess let's do that now. I try to review the basics of the universe before we really dig into it. So let's talk a little bit about the truths of the universe. So things that are true about Nibake and the world. So this game, Ironsworn, is set in a dark fantasy sort of universe. I say that because there is some implied setting, right, which we've expanded on. There is a little bit of sort of grittiness in the mechanisms. I would say that it probably falls along the same lines as like Conan, right? About the same lines as Conan. So it's gritty, it's pulpy. The main character isn't like a hero exactly. Nibake is kind of an asshole, and I've been playing her kind of as like she's a bit of an homage to, what's that chaotic evil? Kugel. She's a bit of my homage to Kugel. She's Kugel meets Conan. She is a half elf, and we'll talk about what that means. But basically, she is, I guess she would be like 3rd generation Ironsworn, iron person, people on this side of the world. So humans never used to live here in this like weird Iceland. Humans used to live somewhere else. We lived across the sea to the east, and everything was good. We had bronze that we could craft. We had gods that cared for us. We had industry and science. Yeah, Ironlander, that's the one. And then the sickness came. And when the sickness came, there was nothing that our gods or our doctors or our science could do for us. And as a result, we had to leave that sick and dying land behind. So we got on our boats and we expended all that remained of our resources, right? We chopped down every last tree we could find, and with our last ounces of strength, we built these colony boats, and we fled across the sea to the west, hoping to find something, right? We left all the world that we knew, and we went west to find a place that we could live, to find anything, right? And along the way, many of us died, right? We lost our faith. We left our old gods behind. We had many of them die in many ships, and what was left finally arrived to bury their dead on the dead coast, on this shore here of the Ironlands. And when we got here, we found that the Ironlands had a history of their own. So the Ironlands was a place where these other alien gods, these gods we had never known in our world, had come to the world, had come to Earth to fight. So this place was their battleground. Now, we don't know, and we've never really touched on this either in or out of character. We don't really know why the gods were warring with each other. Maybe it was over territory or worshippers. Maybe it was a family squabble. We don't know anything about those old gods except that they're dead. They all killed each other in this terrible war, leaving behind their weapons, right? Now, some of them are full or partly broken weapons laying strewn around the world, right? Enormous swords stabbed into the earth, arrowheads scattered throughout, right? But they're enormous, and they're made out of this magical material we had never seen before. They're made out of iron. And so the first thing that we did when we found them was we learned to make things out of this iron, right? We founded the Iron Workers, which is a sort of school that teaches people the sacred art of ironcraft. We learned the sacred rites to swear over iron through the forging of the Iron Workers. And the Iron Workers Guild essentially is one of the threads that runs throughout our communities, right? There are no other humans here, but the Firstborn, which are fey creatures. We've called them elves, but I think we decided last session that elf is a like a term that they don't use for themselves. We use it to dismiss them. Maybe it comes from a word from the old land, meaning like outsider or unclean or something, right? So we call them elves when we want to be mean to them. They don't call us much. We don't know much about them, except that they worshipped those old gods in some degree or another, and they are afraid of iron. Iron hurts them. So we learned that about them. They're also trolls, which we've encountered both trolls and Firstborn in the game, and it hasn't gone great for us either time. So yeah, we basically now we have a spear. We have our spear Hulata. We have our companion Kudan, who is a mighty mammoth. And we are Nibake half-elven. We call ourselves Sabine among humans, but Nibake is our elf name. One of our ancestors is an elf. Everyone else is a human. We have Firstborn blood within us, and that mostly just sets us apart from everyone else. It makes it so that people don't generally trust us. They see us as alien and other. So we hide that. We hide the fact that we have elven lineage when we can, and we swear the Iron Oath, and we wander the world. So far, basically just getting in trouble. The character's core kind of tension, their tension and their motivation is that they want desperately to found a community for people like them. Now, we haven't totally figured out what people like me means, but like outsiders, right? And we've also gotten ourselves tangled up. In the last episode, we got ourselves tangled up in the personal drama of a town called Highwatch. So Highwatch is a town that let's talk a little bit about Highwatch. This is Highwatch here. Here, because we went up to Frozen Crag, Snow Crag, something like that last time. So we're in this town called Highwatch that originally was one of the landing towns on the Dead Coast, and it's where the older generation, the Arrivers, where they built one of their lighthouses. These were kind of the last temples we ever built to the gods. The lighthouses were meant to cast their light out to sea and essentially keep the ghosts of the dead away from us, right? There were these rituals that we cast for the old priests, and I think probably the last generation of priests spilled their life's blood to create these lighthouses, which is all the more ironic given that we are now using this town basically to get drunk. So Highwatch is a wild, mystical, and isolated town, one of the last beacons. The Highwatch light shines across the sea. It's magic. We leave it on because we don't know how to turn it off. But this is a town where outcasts and mercenaries and the sick and the injured and like people who don't belong anywhere else where they've come to live. It's also home to a nunnery called the Wardens of Mercy's Light, where we left behind, and I'm remiss to call her our friend, big sarcastic quotation marks, this person that we know. We brought her here, or what was left of her after Elf Island didn't go great, and we left her with the nuns. And then immediately we hooked up with the mayor, big quote, the mayor, who him and his goons pretty much run this town. And now I'm an honorary goon. Last time I swore an oath to serve Shekar as his eyes and ears and sometimes fist in High Watch. I also swore an oath to protect High Watch from those who would see its freedoms taken away. And now I'm a goon in the service to Shekar, which also means that we met the other goons. Who are they? They are Serene, Myrick, and Win. And then we have a fourth goon, but we haven't detailed them yet. So Win is moody, sick, and infamous. And we definitely hooked up in a workshop in an abandoned town. So that was fun. So yeah, Win is the, I guess, thinks of himself as the leader of the goons. We're having some debate over that. Myrick is one of Shekar's goons who is kind of a psycho. They have an iron knife called Elf Sticker, and they are unpredictable and dangerous. Obviously, they're our favorite, but it didn't really work. And then Serene is armed, kind, and wounded, and she's an old fighter who's learned her way around the infirmary. So she takes care of the other goons, but she's also got a sword, an axe, and a bunch of knives. She has more iron than anybody else, except for maybe Shekar. Now Shekar has this cool elf cloak, which we brought to him. That was our job last time. So we currently work for this nerd, and I think what we're gonna do is we are going to try to see what kind of trouble he wants us to fix in town, right? So let me reorganize these a little bit here. Session 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. And this was, we can now call it Journey to High Watch. Okay, so what we're gonna do to start is we're gonna figure out what Shekar needs us to do. Right? What is the problem that Shekar is having today? So let's come up with a job for Nabake to attempt to solve. I don't need another character. Hold on. Get out of here. There we go. Okay. All right. So session 5. Trouble in High Watch. So to generate this situation, I'm just gonna go straight to the oracles and just draw one up. So let's figure that out. We got our oracles. We're gonna go to settlement trouble, and we are gonna roll our D100, and we are going to begin our little adventure for today. Thanks, Jackson. Welcome. All right, D100. Here goes. We got a 28. Ooh, production halts. Oh no, am I gonna have to go and I'm gonna have to go beat up some union toughs? Production halts. What can we be producing? Okay, all right, let's go with it. So production, settlement trouble. Quote, production halts. Okay, so that begs the question, or demands that we answer the question. What does High Watch produce? Now it's obvious. It's like we have fishing. Maybe the seas have like dried up in terms of fish. Oh no! Oh god! The forgotten elf island that I don't remember. Maybe there's something there. We could also, I don't think there's iron production, not in this town. Cause there's gotta be something. Yeah, maybe like a blacksmith, a conflict between the Ironsworn and, ooh, yeah, like something like whalers. Maybe like yeah. Distillery. Ambergris could be a salt. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me make some notes, and then we'll dig in a little deeper and see what we like here. So, okay. Hold on. Get out of here. Go away. All right. All right. Session 5. I don't know why I have to redo this. Trouble in Highwatch. I think because I just didn't save it. Okay. All right. So, settlement. What's it called? Trouble. Production halts. All right. Things produced in Highwatch. We got fish, salt, whale stuff. Yeah. Medicine production from, maybe like something with the nuns. I don't really want to get into confrontation with the nuns. We're defining our scarcity if this was Apocalypse World. So like, what else? What else could be? I guess, like, I don't want to reinterpret production halts as something else. I want to try to be as honest and I want to be as honest to the role that we made as possible, right? You gotta allow the Oracle to do its job. So I don't want to be like the production of order and then have to be like, like I like the idea of trying to bend it to this. So fish, salt, whale stuff. Does my character like the nuns? Kind of. I think, yeah, maybe like booze of some kind, right? A distillery. It's got to be serious enough or luxury enough that it annoys our boss, right? That it annoys our, like, if it was just food or something, like it has to negatively impact what's his name? Shekar, right? So, yeah, pearls is an option too. Go dive in for pearls. The only reason I'm avoiding whale oil is because it feels so Blades in the Dark, and I kind of want to try something different. Maybe yeah, I want it to be emblematic of like a bigger problem, right? Like Shekar's mad because his cut of something that he needs either for himself or for someone else. So maybe like somebody produces something useful and valuable, and then Shekar gets a cut, and now they're not producing enough to like give him his cut. And so he is beholden to someone else who's now demanding that from him. And so he's using us to put pressure on them to get that thing. So I think maybe like a commodity. This might carry us further inland, right? Because this connects us to, I'm gonna go with pearls, I think. So let's frame it this way. So out of character, what we know. So from a GM perspective, if we're thinking about like the background, why did that turn blue? That's weird. Is that auto format for some reason? Nope. Okay, I just formatted weird. Okay, so what we know out of character is that Shekar has a deal with some out of town merchant for the. I want them to be special pearls. They're like haunted pearls, basically, like the eyes of the dead, the eyes of the drowned, or something like that. For the eyes of the drowned, a special kind of pearl found only along the dead coast. Right? Yeah, like some kind of like, and maybe they look like eyes. Maybe they have like a dark spot on them. And so if you bring these are special pearls that we sell, Shekar sells to this merchant. Yeah. So Shekar has a deal with some out-of-town merchant for the eyes of the drowned, a special kind of pearl found only along the dead coast. The pearl hunters that work the coast have gathered together or have decided they don't want to give Shekar his cut anymore, which means his out-of-town merchant friend is getting impatient. which undermines Shekar's authority and makes him look bad to his fancy Eastern friends. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So as a result, therefore, he's sending his newest goon to go down to the Pearl Cliffs and talk some sense into the hunters there. Good. So we'll find black-eyed pearls, now featuring fungi. I like them better before fungi joined the band. Okay. All right. So Shekar has a deal. So we know this out of character. Our character doesn't know that. All we know is that Shekar has a friend in town, and they're fancy, and we are. If they're eyes, do they look like eyes, or do they do something I like? I mean, I'm going full Bloodborne on this. We harvest them. We don't fully understand what they do, but maybe sometimes like. Here, let me come up with three myths about, let's put it in the truths, right? Under mysticism. So our truths, what's great here is we're building a campaign setting as we go, right? So like, let's add under mysticism, right? We'll indent on this, and then we'll go, what do we call them? Eyes of the Drowned? Because they're a magic item, right? So pearls gathered only along the dead coast, whose otherwise beautiful surface is marked with a dark spot, giving them a strange eye-like appearance. Witches often advise folk to place one under their pillow at night. If they do, they'll be granted a dream from beyond the veil of the dead. Healers use them ground up as a poultice, I guess, and as a potion. Like, what is it called when you grind up a powder and you mix it into a fluid? Like, what would that be called? There's a chemistry term for that. Somebody, all the apothecaries in chat, get at me. What is it called when you grind something up? It's not, it's like, see, I think a poultice is it a tincture? A tincture might be what I'm thinking of. Yeah, a tincture or a suspension. Yeah, something like that as a tincture. Because a tincture is like drops of water or drops of oil in a fluid, right? So I think this counts. Healers use them ground up with oils as a tincture to heal falling sickness and visions, right? Unwanted visions. There are those who say they contain the knowledge of the old world, and wearing or embedding them in the flesh will grant mystical power. There you go. All right. So we just created, you could do, look at this. So we just created a little piece that you could build an entire narrative around, right? That's what I love about world building, where you're just like, it's a drop in the pond, but you could take it and you could build it into this whole other thing. So the Eyes of the Drowned, this guy is a pearl merchant, and he needs these eyes for his business back home. Yeah, and I'm kind of thinking that the eyes are like a mystically, like they're obviously they have more power than we think, but we don't fully understand that. So yes, there's definitely some guy walking around with an Eye of the Drowned embedded in his forehead. Yeah, and he claims he can see the dead, and like, oh yeah, I imagine that there is someone somewhere who has like a weird, like, what is it? It's like it's an obsession, but it's in the like clinical sense, where he like just keeps buying them and like putting them in his flesh. And so he has all these like bumps up and down his arms or like on his neck where he's like embedded these pearls and the skin is healed over. Ooh, yeah, like this weird compulsion. Yeah. Totally, to like bury them in himself. And so this guy is, he's not addicted to weird pearl visions himself, but he's gonna come, some Argus looking dude, but he's come here to trade. So I guess we need an NPC. We need an NPC who is the trader, right, for session 5. So let's go ahead and add them to our dramatis personae. We're gonna make up this pearl merchant, and we already know a little bit about them. So let's come up with a name for this dude and a gender. Okay, so yeah, he is indeed a dude. 1, 2, what do we do? 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 3, 4. So it's a woman. So lady. Yeah, pearl vision. If you grind them up, you put them in, you sprinkle it into some strawberry preserves, you get pearl jam. Nope. All right, let me roll character descriptor and name for this person. So I'm going to use other names because they're not, I want them to seem a little bit strange. They're like a little bit like they're rich, and they're rich compared to us. But they're from somewhere else. I imagine they're like, I would see this person and I would think like, whoa, like this person's they've got it going on, right? Gold jewelry, like lots of embroidery on her cloak. She wears fur. She probably has servants. She is rich. She is obviously powerful. She smells nice, and I probably am fascinated with this person. I envision that she's older. I'm trying to think of. I just can't help but think of, all I can think about is fucking Angela Bassett. That's who I think about when I think about this person. That's what I like. That's what I imagine in my head. So let me see. What did I roll? I got a 77. What are my options? Oh, Maya. There you go. That's great. I'm gonna call her Maya. Fucking perfect. Okay. Maya. So you want to date mystical Angela Bassett? I mean, she's super rich and she wears like fancy cloth. Like she probably has her hair. She isn't older. She's just timeless. Yeah. I mean, older than Nabake, and Nabake is like 19. So this woman, I figure I'm going to piss her off as soon as I open my mouth. Right. And I'm probably going to have to pretend like I don't care that she's pissed off. But secretly, I think Maya is the character that Nabake is maybe the most impressed with, because she is so like together. She's got her money. She's ostentatious. She wears beautiful clothes. And I'm probably just like, damn auntie. Right. But she doesn't know me. Right. So I'm going to piss her off and she's probably going to be like, no. And I'm going to spend most of this mission trying to impress her instead of my stupid boss, Shekar. Yeah. I started immediately seeing her as my boss's boss, and it totally undermines him. All right, so we've got some general ideas about her. Let's roll her descriptors and see what her deal is personality-wise. Because I've got some external thoughts about her, like what Nabake would see in this woman. But let's take a look and see what the universe knows about her, what is true. So, character descriptor, here we go. So we need 3 D100s because we've been doing 3 for each character. 46, 91, 81. 46, she is cunning. Of course she is. She is 91, violent. Uh-oh. Cunning, violent, and cooperative. Damn. She's like a badass heart holder. I like this lady. Cunning, violent, and cooperative. Darth Maya. Okay, so a merchant from a large town somewhere to the east of Highwatch. Maya is a merchant. We already said that. Merchant of large town, something each of Highwatch. Maya has money, success, servants, and influence, and rarely has to do anything for herself. Instead of sending a servant to Highwatch to deal with the sudden shortage of eyes of the drowned, Maya comes personally to pay a visit to her old friend Shekar, and to ensure that business continues to run smoothly. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, don't piss her off and everything will be fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. Nice. I like Maya. She seems cool. I keep imagining her. She probably has like a ton of hair that nobody gets to see. Like for her, I think, I don't know, maybe I'm going to extrapolate this thing out into a cultural thing, but I think that there is something about in the more civilized parts of the world about showing or not showing your hair. And I think that Maya always has these like beautiful, like cloth of gold, like wraps that she wears around her hair. And she only ever shows it to people that are like her intimate family. Like if you even like her lovers, she probably doesn't show it to them until they're like part of the business, right? She probably has several husbands, I think, and like concubines and stuff. Yeah. It might have something. It might be an old misinterpreted like old world thing. Yeah. But and obviously because the Ironlanders, we're not a monoculture, right? So whatever culture Maya belongs to, that's something for her. Yeah. So I'm going to make that note so I don't forget it as like a world building thing. Comes from a culture where you keep your hair covered, wears her under a wrap, a blue and gold wrap. Has many husbands, several children, and a bunch of beloved concubines and assistants. Cool. Yeah, she's our first taste of like this game world's civilization, right? Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Like if you're poor, you just chop your hair off. If you're rich, you can afford to keep it and like make it nice. Yeah, and she has a lot of it, which is like a sign that she is like rich. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So she's come to town and already Nabake is like, damn girl, you're amazing. But I haven't actually been allowed to speak to her because Shekar is like, no. You stay away from my friend. Don't embarrass me. And they've been in meetings for a while. And then finally, Shekar calls me. And I'm like half drunk one day. It's like 11 in the morning. I didn't think I had any work to do. And plus, I fight better drunk. So I'm like half ripped already. And I just finished my breakfast. And I'm probably like wandering around in the streets looking for people to get in a fight with when one of Shekar's other guys comes to find me and is like, hey, Shekar needs to talk to you. And I'm like, Shekar needs to talk to you, asshole. I have things to do. And he's like, no, Sabine, he asked for you specifically. Come on. And I'm like, maybe you suck my dick first. And he's like, Sabine, seriously. And I probably like, fine, whatever. And I like shove him out of the way. I'm like, I have a really important meeting to go to. Stop bothering me. And then I just walk up the street. And I think by now, it's been several weeks, people alternately think of me as like a weird joke, but they are also afraid of me because I think probably I got in a fight and like really beat somebody up. And so people they avoid me. And that's fine. That's what I want. I don't want anybody to be friends with me. Fuck you. I don't need any friends. Shut up. So, so I head up, Yeah, exactly. Don't get in a fight with Sabine. She's crazy. I head uphill to Shekar's manor, I guess, Shekar's house. And I don't know where my mammoth is. Like we're on a break. I don't think he likes this town. And so I kind of like he's outside of the town grazing or whatever, doing mammoth stuff. He's probably got like a mammoth girlfriend or whatever out there. So I don't need him. He's fine. I'm fine. We're independent. And so I go up the hill to the manor, and I walk in and I walk past the guards, and I think Win is there, and I give him a look. I probably give him like, what's up? If I had more time, there's a closet I know. Anyway, and he just doesn't look at me. And I'm just like, what, Win? What? No, nothing? All right. I come inside, and one of Shekar's like servants comes and gets me, and is like, you know, the master wants to see you. Come and speak to him. And I'm like, whoa, fancy. So I go, and I imagine everything in this town is like, I think that all the salt from the sea, right? All of the, like, cause the dead shores, they're not like, if you go fishing, you have to do it up fjord, right? Where the fresh water comes down from the mountains. There's not a lot of life off the dead shore or the dead coast. Go figure. So I imagine that everything here is like salt rimed and like kind of breaking down. So even this manor house, which is nice, is like quite old and drafty, and I imagine that yeah, even here it has a kind of like dilapidated grandeur, let's say. And so there are candles that have been, if this were a real like decent place, if this were a house with servants that actually did their job and who, you know, were trained as servants instead of just being like indentured to Shekar, they would replace the candles. But instead, the candle holders are just like clumps of wax that like have drippings down the walls because people just keep putting new candles on top of the old mass. The people that live here, like the goons all live in this manor. So technically this is a house that I live in. So there's a lot of just like drunk toughs that live in this place. We don't do a lot of cleaning up. And so the servants basically have to take care of all of us, even if Shekar usually is like, no, don't attend to me first. So this place is pretty run down, but has a kind of, compared to everything else in Highwatch, which is like mud huts and salt, it's like pretty impressive. It actually has like a stone foundation. So anyhow, I make my way through the mansion, stumbling a little, trying to be sober. And I get to the hall, right? The meeting hall where Shekar has these meetings. And I see sitting outside the hall on a little wooden bench, probably carved so the arms look like, I don't know, like orcas or something, right? This little bench, there is one of Maya's servants. He is similarly dressed to her, except much less fancy. And I think that he has the same cultural taboo. So he probably has like a turban, and he's wearing a big like fur cloak, and the fur cloak is very out of place. Like it's clearly been lent to him. So he looks very small in this big cloak, and he looks up at me, and I'm like, "Are they in there?" And he nods, and I say, Should I just go in, or am I supposed to wait out here? And he says, go inside. You've kept them waiting long enough. I'm like, okay. And I turn and I struggle a little bit with the door. And one last look at the guy. I'm like, I'm fine. It's fine. Open the doors up and I walk inside. Now we've seen this structure from the inside before. Again, I'm envisioning kind of like a Viking longhouse, but smaller because it's one room. I'm thinking a little bit like a more maritime-y version of King I can never remember the name of the goddamn Rohirrim. I'm totally blanking, and I know this guy's name. He's the Horse Lord's king, the guy that he got possessed by Saruman. What am I? Theoden. Jesus Christ! Thank you, Incubus. So I imagine it's a bit like Theoden's Hall. I imagine it's a bit like a Viking long hall. He probably has like several dogs that he loves quite a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna definitely. I think that's a thing. I think he has dogs, like a half dozen of them. Yeah, I'm making a note. So Shekar has friends in the east with some decent connections there, but mostly he provides trade to them from the coast. Also has 5 dogs, all of whom he loves very much. Yeah, his hounds, right? So I think that when we get here, oh, this is great. Okay, so the one thing that even a slightly drunk Nabake notices, when I come in, the dogs are gone. They're missing. And at the end of the hall, there is essentially his throne, right? There's his throne, then there's some like steps. He sits on a dais, because of course he does. And then there is a table below, but the dogs aren't around. And him and Maya are sitting at the table as equals, right? Looking at each other across this table rather than like, here, let me draw what I envision. What's shitty Adam Coble drawing time. So Shekar's Hall. Yeah, Garrulous Monolith. Do you think the townsfolk call you Shekar's other hounds? Yes, that's definitely a thing where people make jokes about like Shekar's dogs, and sometimes they're talking about us, and sometimes they're talking about his actual dogs. So, okay, so when I think about the hall, I imagine, let me make this a little bit easier to view here. Turn off the grid. I imagine that the hall probably looks kind of like there's a big, the whole house. Let me switch this to something we can see. So like the whole house is pretty big on this floor. And then the back part of it is the like hall itself. So it's probably like something like this. Oh my God, it's Boba Fett. And then there's like the doors here. And then there would be like a waiting chamber, maybe. And then maybe like, yeah, like that. So here's the waiting chamber. There's a second door. And then there would be like side doors here that lead into some other rooms on either side. And yeah, there's a big sign that says this is the way. And then there's doors here. And then I imagine his throne is like up there, right? With the little like dais around it of stairs. So he sits up here. And then there is a big table like that he normally would seat people around for like feasts, and the table can be taken in and out in case he needs to address people from in here. And then they're sitting together like this, like over on the corner, and the dogs are nowhere to be seen. And so I come into the hall and I look around and I see Shekar and I see Maya, the Lady Maya, and I think normally you'd have to relinquish your weapons here, except we're his goons, so we always need our weapons, right? We're here to protect him as well. So I come in and I have my spear over my shoulder, and I look at the table, and I'm like, "You called for me, my lord?" And I do a little like bow, and then I see Maya, and I'm like, there's like suddenly big wide-eyed like. I can be a big sarcastic jerk to him and to everyone else in town, and I turn my gaze to Maya, and she looks at me with her big beautiful amber eyes, and I'm like, and then Shekar like coughs and it like snaps me out, and I'm like, sorry, yes, you called for me. And Shekar says, come over here. And I like look around. I'm like, what do I do with my spear? Okay, I guess I'm bringing my spear with me. And I walk over to the other side of the table. I keep some room. And Maya is just watching me the whole time. She isn't saying anything. She has this beautiful like gold necklace on, like big chunky like gold like plates, basically. Big like round plates that go around her neck. Despite the fact that it's pretty fucking cold in here, she's almost like a torque. Yeah, I'm thinking one of those big necklaces that's like circular or square, but it's like pieces with little links in between them. And there's probably like gems on some of them. She looks amazing, and I'm in love. And I'm just like, and so Shekar talks to me, and she just watches, right? So she's judging me, and so Shekar says, we're having a problem. It's with the pearl divers down by the coast. I'm like, yes, that's where you get your pearl. It's where you get pearls from. Pearls come from the inside of clams. I look at Maya like, did you know that? And Shekar shakes his head like, it's oysters, you fucking idiot. Even I know that. And Maya, I think no response from her. I'm like, yeah, pearls come from clams. So I know that. I remember. And he says, the pearl divers are short on what they owe me. Everyone in High Watch pays me for my protection. They pay me so I can pay you, Sabine. If I'm not getting the pearls I need, I can't pay you. You don't want that, do you? And I'm like nodding along like, yes, I understand. I belong in this conversation. I'm thoughtful and not just an implement of this stupid man. And I say, well, taking the initiative, obviously these pearl divers need a talking to. Yes, that's right, Sabine. You need a talking to. I want you to go down there, find out what their problem is, and solve it for them. You understand? If they're just holding out on me, and he kind of looks at Maya, and Maya nods, as if they've had a conversation about this already, well, then you need to teach them a lesson. And I nod, and I'm like, right. Yeah, I can do that. Uh-huh. All right. Well, and I, here we go. I drunkenly, when I want to be intimidating, I'm like, yeah, I can do that. I've got a spear, and I'm going to try to spin the spear around in some kind of like Ray Park episode 1 flourish of my spear to impress Maya. I want Maya to be like, ah, yes, this one is a true warrior. So I'm gonna try to spin my spear around and be like, yeah, I'm dangerous. But I'm drunk and maybe I'll fuck it up. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to face danger. I'm doing something risky. I'm gonna face danger. I'm gonna do it with my speed, agility, or precision. The danger here, the thing I'm doing that's risky is if I succeed, Maya thinks that I'm like a capable warrior. If I fail, Maya just thinks I'm an idiot. I think that's all. I think that's it. I think Maya probably just thinks I'm a dumbass. Yeah. So let's roll and see what happens. Let's do it. I'm pretty good at this, even drunk, so. Oh no, a weak hit. Fuck. I'm pretty good at this, even drunk. All right, I succeed, but face a troublesome cost. You're delayed, lose advantage, or face a new danger. You're dispirited or afraid. Shit. On a miss, you fail your progress. Okay, so I didn't miss. So, no, I think the fact that I'm inebriated, it doesn't. So this works the same as like Apocalypse World or Dungeon World, where you don't really modify the dice roll. you just get to roll or you don't, and it's fictional. So the fact that I'm drunk might be part of why I fucked it up, but honestly, I don't think it is. I think the reason that I would screw it up is because I am, I'm scared. I want this woman to like me. Yeah, like I'm afraid. Exactly. So I think what a weak hit here is I succeed. I do impress her, but delayed, lose advantage, face new danger. I think I'm going to suffer one. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to suffer a momentum loss on this because what I think happens is that I impress her, right? I think that she is impressed, but I managed to make Shekar mad because Shekar is like, no, you belong to me, asshole. Eyes up here. Because remember, he is the way the power flows is here's the issue. Let me draw you a power diagram. Here's Shekar, right? Here's me, and here's Maya, right? Power flows. Maya tells Shekar what to do. Shekar tells me what to do. Shekar sees me doing this and thinks that I'm trying to go like this, right? That I'm trying to impress Maya so that Maya will like take me away. Secretly, I am. So Shekar's right. So let me make a note in my little journal of what happened here. Okay. Shekar, I guess I should use, if I'm using italics for in character, I should move this. Here we go. I should do it that way. Okay, so Shekar summoned me to his chambers for a meeting about some pearl divers being reluctant to pay. Let's call it like the dog tax, the hound tax. Pay the dog tax. Some pearl divers being reluctant to pay the dog tax, which I assured him I would deal with. Maya was there, his foreign friend, looking rich and smelling amazing. I impressed her with a flourish of my spear. I think she likes me. All right, so let's see. That was a face danger. Trying to impress Maya. And we put these in brackets, and I got a weak hit. Weak hit, meaning she's impressed, but I pissed off Shekar, who is deeply, like insecure, who's deeply insecure about his position in life. Here we go. Okay, cool. -1 momentum. I think she likes me. I guess I have to, I don't know if it's not an oath, right? I'm not swearing an oath. I'm doing a mission. So this is the, what's it called? This is the other one. Let me look at my mercenary ability and then we'll see. I think she likes me. So off I go to deal with the pearl divers. Okay, all right. So how does this work? I'm not swearing. It's not a sacred oath. It's part of my oath to serve Shekar. So I'll get advancement on this, right? When I do the mission. So yeah, this is going to be a progress track for this one, but it might come in conflict with this one, right? So I'm going to have to choose. I'm going to go talk to the pearl divers and we're going to see what the hell their problem is. And then we'll go from there. But I'm currently on a job, not a quest or a mission. So that means, I guess it is still swear an iron oath, swear an iron vow under promise of payment. Yeah, so it's a new vow, but I'm also fulfilling other ones with it. So I get to add +1. Let's do that, I guess. Also, keep in mind, I've been here long enough. I've been here long enough that I have a false identity. I'm a pretender. I have established some truth to my fake identity. Okay. All right. So, Fortune Hunter, swear an iron vow, adding +1 to the roll. I think we do that with heart because I'm really bad at it. I think that's how I remember that. Okay, so I swirl the spear around, I thump, place it on the ground, and I say, in my best drunk ceremonial, I'm like, under your roof, my lord, here at your table, with the smell of salt and the flame of loyalty burning in my heart, I will do this for you in your name. But here's the thing. When I swear the oath to... Jesus Christ, I'm such trash. When I swear the oath to Shekar, I say the words more or less correct. I look over, when I'm like, in your name, I look over at Maya and I do one of these. I'm like, thump. And I give her a wink. I give her like a big, dramatic, like... I wink at her just to try to get her to like laugh or smile or anything. And I think she just fucking stonewalls me. But we still get to swear the oath. Whatever. Nabake's a mess. She's stumbling through the world. The problem is that she didn't have anything to drink before. Now she's a drunk mess, and that's like what's making her behavior worse. So let me swear this iron vow. And go from there. Okay, so we're going to roll plus heart +1. Yep, so I suck, but that's fine. Now, if you have a bond with someone, it's another +1. Awesome. This is why you want to work for the same employer multiple times, who I'm about to abandon, but that's fine. Really, secretly, Nabake's goal is to impress Maya enough that when Maya leaves, I get to go with her. I want to be one of her husbands. But she's cool, right? I want to hitch my wagon to her. She's like, she doesn't smell like dogs. She smells like flowers. That's hard to come by in a place like this. All right, so let's go and roll here. Oh no! Fuck! This is the worst possible roll I could make. It is just the worst, and I can't give up. So we're gonna suffer. Oh God, I'm making him so angry. Shit. Okay, so this is a critical fumble in the worst way. It's 2 10s. I face a significant obstacle before you can go begin your quest. I leave. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go do this. So let me note the oath I have sworn. So I will go and force the Pearl Divers to give up the dog tax. That's what I'm gonna do. It's troublesome, right? I think he's gonna go. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Is what's gonna happen. He's gonna teach me a lesson. So I wink at Maya and I'm like, "All right, boss. Trust me, I'm on it." I turn around. I walk into the table. Maybe I knock over a chair. I'm like, "It's fine. It's good. I'm fine." And I leave. And I think what we see is Maya, and we still haven't heard Maya's voice, though I'm sure it's beautiful. Shekar and Maya like nod to each other like we're gonna go. He gets up and he leaves, and we stay with Shekar. We don't get to hear what he says, but he goes and he talks to not Win, but the other one, the psycho. Let's see, what was his name? Myrick. Myrick was a they, that's right. So Shekar goes to Myrick and says something about me, and Myrick nods and leaves. So I don't think they go and like ambush me right now. I think they're gonna wait. Okay, I'm gonna make a note because I have to remember this. You're gonna have to help me, chat. So out of character, let me see. Okay, and then swear an iron vow. I blow it completely. Get a miss and a 10-10 complication. Meaning out of character. Shekar sends... Yeah, they wait till the problem is solved, then they beat the shit out of me and act like I don't know, ran off or something. Shekar sends Myrick and some lesser goons to beat the living hell out of me as a lesson to who owns me in this town. Myrick is smart enough to wait until it's advantageous to them, then they spring the trap. Okay. All right. So that's gonna happen later. It'll be probably one of the last like complications for this quest. God damn it. All right. Maybe I'm gonna have to kill Myrick. That'd teach him a lesson.